All right, today we're going to break down one of the most important public health strategies in India, the Integrated Management of Neonatal and Childhood Illness, or IMNCI. And this isn't some high-tech tool for a fancy hospital. Nope, this is a powerful clinical algorithm built to save lives right at the community level.
I mean, it sounds almost ridiculously simple, right? But that is the core question IMNCI was designed to solve. In a country as huge and diverse as India, how do you give frontline health workers the power to make life or death decisions, not just accurately, but consistently, time after time? Well, the answer lies in a brilliantly simple, symptom-based checklist.
So, why was a strategy like this so desperately needed in the first place? To really get why IMNCI was such a game-changer, you have to understand the sheer scale of the problem India was up against back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, the data from the National Family Health Survey back then tells a pretty tough story. And these aren't just statistics on a chart. Think about what this means. Less than half of all kids were fully immunized. Only a quarter of children with diarrhea, a major killer, were getting simple oral rehydration solution. It painted a very clear, very stark picture. Children were dying from things that were completely preventable and treatable.
And here is the clinical reality on the ground. A sick kid doesn't just walk in with a neat little sign that says, "I have pneumonia." No, they come in with a cough, a fever, they're struggling to breathe. Is it pneumonia? Is it malaria? Something else entirely? And very often you've got malnutrition mixed in, which makes everything look, well, confusing. A program focused on just one disease at a time was never going to work. The system had to be about treating the sick child in front of them, not just chasing a single diagnosis.
So, in response to this huge, complex challenge, the government of India adapted a global strategy and created something tailor-made for its own communities. And that was the birth of IMNCI.
The magic word, the most important word, is right there in the name: integrated. Instead of having one program for diarrhea, and another for pneumonia, and another for malaria, IMNCI rolled them all into one. It focuses on the whole child and gives a simple, step-by-step guide based on symptoms that a community health worker like an A&M or an ASHA can use reliably every single time.
And this is where the strategy gets really clever. It knows that a newborn isn't just a mini version of a toddler. The algorithm actually splits into two different paths. For those super fragile infants up to 2 months old, the focus is all about spotting those subtle but critical danger signs of things like sepsis. But for the older child, from 2 months to 5 years, the checklist shifts to assessing those major killer symptoms we've been talking about.
So this brings us to the absolute core of how IMCI works. It's a 3-step process, a mantra that every single health worker is trained to follow for every single child. Assess, classify, and treat.
And this right here, this is the tool that makes it all happen. It's the standardized recording form. But listen, it's so much more than just paperwork. It's a roadmap. It literally forces the health worker to follow every step, ask every key question, and check every sign, all in the right order. It's a guarantee of a complete, systematic assessment.
And the protocol itself is built like a funnel. It always starts with the most critical, life-threatening questions first, the general danger signs. Can the child drink? Are they lethargic? Any one of these is a massive red flag. Only after that's clear does the worker move on to the major symptoms, nutrition, and immunizations. It's designed to catch the sickest kids first.
So, once the assessment is done, you move to classification. And the power of this is that it turns what the health worker sees into a clear decision. They don't have to make some complex differential diagnosis. They just match the signs they see to the rows on this chart. If an infant has severe chest indrawing, bam, the classification is possible serious bacterial infection. It's a rule-based system that just removes all the guesswork.
And that classification leads directly to what is probably the most elegant and powerful part of this entire strategy: a simple, visual, color-coded system that tells you exactly what to do next.
It all boils down to this. The first color you need to know is pink.
The second one is yellow.
And the third and final color is green. Think of it like a traffic light for child survival. It's so simple, anyone can understand it in a crisis. Pink means stop everything, this child is in danger, get them to a hospital immediately. Yellow means this child needs a specific treatment, like an antibiotic or ORS, that you can give right there at the health post. And green means the child is safe to be managed at home and the mother is given clear counseling on what to do. Pink, yellow, green. It's an unmistakable action plan.
Okay, so the theory sounds incredible. It's logical, it's systematic, it's color-coded, but the million-dollar question is always this.
did it actually work out there in the real world? Let's look at the impact. Well, first off, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of this thing. We are not talking about a tiny little pilot study. Just between 2005 and 2009, over 200,000 frontline workers were trained on this protocol. This was a massive, nationwide shift in how child health care was delivered.
And yes, the data shows it made a real, measurable difference. This chart compares districts that used IMNCI with similar ones that didn't. And what you see is a nearly 18% greater improvement in families seeking care for things like pneumonia in the IMNCI districts. That is a statistically significant finding, and it's huge. It proves the program wasn't just training workers, it was changing behavior in the community.
But of course, let's be real. Nothing is ever perfect, especially in public health. The studies also found some critical bottlenecks. I mean, you can have the best trained health worker in the world, but if they don't have good supervision, or if their clinic runs out of simple antibiotics or ORS packets, the whole system starts to fall apart. These logistical challenges are a constant battle.
So, that's the IMNCI algorithm. It is a landmark strategy that totally changed the game for community child health in India. It's systematic, it's based on evidence, and it's built for the real world. But no system is ever finished. Which brings me to my last question, and this one is for you. As the next generation of doctors and public health leaders, how would you build on this? How could this incredible, life-saving algorithm be made even stronger, even better? That's the challenge I'll leave you with.